get started in just 1 second. For those on TikTok, go ahead, tap the screen, share the live. We'll get started in just 1 minute. All right. Right. Awesome. Looks like we are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So I hope everyone had a good Easter Sunday. If you celebrate, if not, I hope you just had a good weekend. And today's topic that we're going to be talking about is just allowing yourself to be, to just exist and to be your best self without actually having to change anything about yourself. Just exist as you are right now in all your imperfect ways. And so for those of you that are first joining in, this is your first time here. My name is Tina. I am a happiness coach, and I help people with feelings of depression, anxiety, dealing with dark thoughts, any of those kind of things, and helping you shift to a happier place. And I do this by sharing my experience, strength, and hope, my own personal experiences of what I've been through in my childhood, and also things that I've learned throughout the years. And sometimes I'll give personal relationship references, or it might also be business examples that I provide as well. So happiness isn't limited just to ourselves, although it does start there. It extends in every area that we operate in, whether that's our family, our friendships, our partnerships, our significant others, our businesses, our coworkers, any of that kind of stuff. Happiness does impact how we operate. And the happier we are, the more productive, the more effective our relationships are. So it's an important skill to be able to cultivate. And yes, it does take work to be happy. It's not like just, it happens and everything's all hunky-dory. And this is actually takes quite a bit of inner work. So that being said, today is going to be talking about how to feel happy without actually having to do any work. So if you've been following me for a little bit, you'll know that the last couple of days I had not been feeling well, and so that lowered my resistance. I had been battling COVID and, just kind of getting over a cold and some other things that I had been dealing with that were a little bit challenging. And when those things stack up, it's hard to keep your mindset positive. To look at things in the proper perspective, and sometimes that ends up causing you to feel really down, really dark, depressed. And I know for myself, when I get in those states, prayer was one of the biggest things that actually helped me. And trust me, I was not a believer. I fought the concept of having a power greater than myself, and I always used to battle it with logic and reasons why it wasn't true and all of this kind of stuff, until I learned to develop a connection with the God of my understanding. And at first it started out with God stood for good, orderly direction. And it wasn't tied to any specific religion or any of that kind of stuff, even though I grew up in a Christian faith. I still wasn't, I didn't want to err too much on that side. And so I kind of had it there, but it was more in the background, like a childhood belief. And as I became an adult, I was kind of more logic, science-based kind of thing. And I only valued what I could see, until I ended up going through and doing some inner work and doing some therapy and healing and stuff like that. And then I started to learn to cultivate a connection with the God of my understanding. And I did that basically off of a dare. I didn't believe, and I was asking the person that I was talking with, I'm like, well, how do you do this? And they said, well, you just, if you don't believe, then start with that. tell God, tell whatever, saying, you know what, I don't believe in this, but I'm going to do this more to, and I did this more to prove a point that it wouldn't work. And I was proven wrong. And it actually did work. So I had asked for signs to, um, show me that things were possible, that there could possibly be a God, and a God that would actually care about me. And so I started to learn to talk to him directly and stuff like that. And so yesterday I was feeling pretty down with not feeling well and all of the other stuff. My cat had been injured, and I was just like, man, it's like when it rains it pours kind of thing. And so I was feeling really down, but I also knew enough to know that because of my physical condition, I was in one of the HALT states, and HALT means hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or sick. So if you're in any 5 of those, then you have to take that into consideration and know that you're probably not in the best frame of mind, and don't make any major decisions in that space, right? So hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or sick. And so I knew that if I said some prayers and just went to sleep, and I just asked for, because I didn't know, I was feeling pretty hopeless yesterday. And so I didn't really know how to solve some of the challenges that I was facing. And so I just asked for help. And I just said, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to go to sleep. And that's all I got. And oddly enough, I woke up this morning and it felt like the weight had been lifted. Nothing has changed in my circumstances. Everything still remained the same. So although I did physically feel a little bit better when I woke up today, so not battling the cold so much. But that shift in perspective, it can change that quickly, and just feeling that things were different and feeling more hopeful and that I wasn't alone. So that was something that act of trust, that act of faith, of just, you know what, I don't really think this is going to work. And I still, to this day, sometimes, even when I do pray, I still don't think it's going to work. I don't think this is gonna, this must be all made up in my head. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna take that action and see what happens. And worst case scenario, maybe it's got nothing to do with some sky god or whatever it is, right? Maybe it's more neuro-linguistic programming, or maybe it's a science thing, or maybe it's just a self-soothing technique. I don't know. Don't really care. Not a scientist, nor do I play one on TV. But this, all I know is it actually worked for me. And this is what I share on my channel, of things that actually work for me. And I also share with you very transparently that I didn't actually believe. I didn't, and I still struggle with it today. So just having that act of faith and just asking for the help allowed me to wake up and feel much better today. And it was just like it was okay to just be, that I didn't actually have to do anything to prove my value today. And I just allowed myself to relax, and I allowed myself to exist, and I allowed myself to not be perfect. And I enjoyed my Easter by having lots of chocolate. I got some chocolate eggs, and I ate popcorn and jelly beans and Coke and stuff that I really hadn't been allowing myself to just exist like a kid. And I did some artwork today. I touched up one of the paintings here. I don't know if you can really see it that well in this lighting. See if that works a bit better. It's a little bit hard to read here, but that one. So this one right here. So it says, always be kind. So I added the lettering on to that today. It took a little bit. Get this one. So there we go. Always be kind. So I added that in there today. And there we go. So we can see that a little bit better. So just going through that today allowed me to take some time to actually play and just relax and be myself, and that I was okay today. So it's this act of just allowing yourself to be. And do you give yourself that permission? And I know it's so hard. If I had 50 million in my bank account tonight, what would I do? That's a good question. What would I do? I would, one of the things of many is I would probably either get some property or like a farm or something like that for a retreat center for women who are looking to escape their abusive situations. Hey Alfred, good to see you. It's been so long. Save the bees. You know, I would probably start a retreat center for women that are looking to escape, and it would involve training and helping them create their own businesses so that they could be financially stable, and it would involve therapy and trauma healing and all of that kind of stuff, so that they have the option of whether or not they want to remain in the situations that they're in. And it would also, not just with women, but there would also be education. There's some great coaches that I would love to support and help them develop their programs a lot bigger so that they can help men become men that they're proud of, that they also have that trauma and healing support as well. And I would really love to be able to help with those kind of things. Because for me, healing and therapy were the biggest value adds to my life. And even though I've had to do multiple layers because of what I've been through. You're in the Bahamas today, Alfred. Okay. Yes, we're still the best of friends. Do you have your art piece? Yes, actually that one is my favorite. It's down in my room. So I get to fall asleep every night to it. So that's the one you wanted the socks in, right? So going through that was something that was really helpful for me today, is just allowing myself to exist and to know that who I am. And I think that was one of the biggest recovery lessons that I had to learn along the way, is that on your path to improving yourself, like I'm not saying just accept yourself and never try to change anything, always try to strive for continuous improvement. We can always become better. However, we also need to be able to accept ourselves exactly as we are. And I remember hearing a speaker talk one time about how he was always going on and he was complaining about his wife. And thank you, Alfred, I appreciate you. He was complaining about his wife, that she, did this wrong and got on his nerves this way, and she didn't do this and didn't do that. And his friend of his had said to him, you know what, I want you to look at her, and if she absolutely didn't change anything and she remained exactly as she is right now, would she be enough? Would you, that's it, you'd have to leave her? And he's like, well, no, I'm just like really cranky about all these things that she's doing. It's getting on my nerves. And it's like, but he had to realize that, you know what? If she never changed anything about herself and she remained exactly as she is right now, would that be enough? And would he be okay with that? And he had to answer to himself that yes, he would be okay with that. And that alone, getting to that level of acceptance, helped him feel more accepting of the way that she was. And I remember listening to that, and I remember thinking to myself, I wonder how many areas of our life can we actually apply this to in all things that we actually are doing. If we accept that if nothing changed from what it is right now. Hey Farid, welcome. If nothing actually changed from where it is right now, would that be okay? Could you accept that? Or are things so intolerable for you right now that you absolutely could not tolerate another day? If that's the case, then what are the things that you are doing that are working towards changing your circumstances? And if you put any effort into working towards changing your circumstances, even if you're crawling, you will eventually make progress. And it may not seem like a lot in the moment, but every step forward, every push forward, every thought forward does help you become that better version of yourself. But in the meantime, you can't wait until you reach your end destination before you accept that who you are, if absolutely nothing else changed about you from what you are right now, that you are still deserving of love, that you have value, even if you're not perfect, even if you haven't achieved all your goals, even if you've had setbacks, and not only have you not achieved your goals, you're worse off than maybe you were a year or two ago. And that's okay. That's okay. That's still part of the progress, right? In any epic journey, there's always that middle piece. The first in the series is always like, the best one is really great, everybody's excited. The middle sequel is kind of like, then towards the end, it gets much better. Everybody's much more excited because you're closer to that end destination. You can see it, you can almost taste it and feel it, right? But when you're going through that middle part where it just doesn't seem like there's any end in sight, it can be easy to give up and go back to the old ways. And just being able to accept yourself in the present moment and allow yourself to just be, because tomorrow's not promised for any of us, and to accept and find the pieces of happiness that we can glimmer in today. And even on my day yesterday when I was feeling pretty down and hopeless, it's not like the full 24 hours was that feeling. Although that was towards the end of it, that wasn't the entire day. There were times where I snuggled with my cat and I really felt connected to her, and I felt that love, and I felt happy as I listened to her purr. I was happy when I enjoyed my coffee. I was happy when I had my, one of my favorites of peanut butter and bagel. And, there are little moments of happiness we can gain from each and every day, should we choose to look for them. And I know some days that can be really challenging to find those pieces, but those pieces are available if we look for them. And it's important, even in the darkest of times, to not actually give up hope, to hang on to whatever it is that we can anchor ourselves into, and know that better days are coming. And you could wake up tomorrow morning and feel so much happier, so much lighter than you did when you went to sleep. And sometimes it takes you breaking down and surrendering to allow something else to work in your favor for you. And to know that, just know that things are going to get better for you. And even when it feels really bleak, hang on to that thought that things can get better for us, all of us, even in really challenging times. And I know that can seem, it can be like, oh, well, easy for you to say. And I've had people tell me stuff like that before because they were comparing their challenges with my challenges. But I can promise you, you could have everything that you could possibly need in life and still feel sad and down and depressed and suicidal and hopeless, and that there's no point to life. And the worst thing of all is to take action on that feeling and to feel like that is the truth when it is not. It can be easy to get caught in that fear, that illusion, the false evidence appearing real, and some people do lose their battles with their demons, but that is not the truth. Love is the only thing that's real. And if you don't feel that love, reaching out and asking for help, asking a God of your understanding, or if you don't have one, at least ask somebody who does have some sort of faith, going, I don't really believe in this stuff, maybe it's a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo to you, but hey, you know what, if you believe, then you know what, I like you, I trust you, can you say a prayer for me? And that will be enough. And just know that sometimes another person's prayer still has that power, but it's when we develop that connection ourselves and we connect with God on a personal level. And I think that's the journey that each and every one of us actually has to take. And that's the point of this life and the next life, of whatever it is, of finding that connection, or finding our way back to God, good orderly direction. God is love. And for me, that is finding our way back to that source, the true powerful source of love. And when you tap into that, no matter how hard things get, and no matter whether you're completely alone or whether you're with a bunch of other people, you can tap into that connection. And this is how you can still pour into other people, because it's not actually coming from you. You're just opening yourself up to act on God's will for you. And sometimes that's to show up for somebody else, and sometimes that's to show up for yourself, and sometimes that's just to sit and be and allow yourself some freedoms, to love yourself as if you were your own child, right? And to care for yourself in that way, because we all deserve that, even when we don't feel like we do. We all deserve that love, kindness, and compassion. And when we learn to practice that for ourselves, we can demonstrate that to others as well. And so it's really important to be able to tap into that, so that you can enjoy some of the days that you have here, that they all don't have to be so dark and heavy, even when things feel really dark and heavy. Like I said, my day today compared to my day yesterday, completely different, and it's not like the circumstances have changed. Although my cat, I was worried about her, I will confess that. I was worried about her, but she was doing better, and I was actually grateful that we had some leftover medication from a previous cat, that so we could give her some pain medication. She had hurt her paw and she was limping, and so I was really concerned, because I'm like, oh man. I was worried that, am I going to be able to get her the care that she needs and stuff like that. So yeah, it was yesterday was challenging, but then I was grateful for the fact that we had this medication for her, and it did seem to help her. And I was grateful for the good night's sleep that I had. And then also, too, when I woke up today, I felt that weight had been lifted, and it was because I had asked for help. And just asking for help from God, right? And for me, that is a huge milestone in and of itself. And I don't know if you guys can still tell, I'm still a little awkward about actually opening up about that whole spiritual side, because I've always, it's because I'm Christian, but it's not like I read the Bible a lot, but I have some of the faith in the stories, and mine, I'm no theologian, no scholar by any stretch of the imagination, and just recently started going back to church. Although I was really disappointed I couldn't go to the Good Friday or the Easter egg hunt or the Sunday services, because I didn't want to risk passing on COVID to somebody else. So I had to stay home. But, you know, it's funny because I don't typically like to open up. Now, I've usually been able to share one-on-one with people, and people would never, never suspect me as somebody who's spiritual and stuff like that. But it's only when I feel like it was appropriate that I would open up and share. But the truth of the matter is that has been a big piece, and for me not to share that, and having that connection, I don't think therapy in and of itself would have been enough to heal me and help me get to that happier state had I not developed a spiritual connection, a personal spiritual connection, one that I have created. So I take what I like and leave the rest. So if I learn something from somebody else's religion, it's got nothing to do with Christianity, and I listen to that and I can hear that and I can appreciate it and I can feel it in my heart, I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that. So whatever I say here, take what you like, leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You don't have to take it on. If it does, go ahead, take it, apply it, try it. See if it actually works for you, because that's how I had to start out with it. I was extremely skeptical. I did not come to believe very easily. It was something that was hard fought over many years, and it was only through listening to other people share their experience, how they developed their connection, and being able to ask those questions in an open, honest way was something that was so valuable to me. I needed the ability to question this stuff because I couldn't accept things on just blind faith. Are you crazy? Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And even now, with believing, most people would say, oh, Tina, you're not really a good Christian. You're not supposed to swear like that, and you're not supposed to do this, and you're not supposed to do that, and you should do these things, and you shouldn't do those things. And it's like, guess what? I can be completely imperfect and a complete mess and a complete shit show, and so can you, and God is still gonna love you. All you have to do is open up and ask. And even if you don't, He's still there waiting for you to ask for help. Even if you don't feel like you need any help, I would be happy to pray for you in London. What would you like some help with? Is there anything in particular? And trust me, I'm not one of the, I don't normally pray out loud very much, but I will ask for prayer for whatever it is that you actually need at this time, and that God comes to you and helps you and lifts whatever burdens that you feel that you have, that you're carrying. Okay? Psych, psych. That's okay as well. Well, I've just prayed for you, so that's on you. So the psych is actually on you. So I hope that ends up helping, and that you can feel that warmth in your heart. So, guys, it's going to be a quick wrap up for tonight, but I did want to just come on and share with you guys to let you know that it's okay for you to be you, that whether that's the best version of you today or it's the worst version of you today, all versions of you are acceptable. And it's not about trying to make ourselves perfect and then we can get God's love. That's not how it works. And it's when we are at our worst that we need Him most. So if your problems have brought you to prayer, then they have served their purpose. And if they haven't brought you to prayer, I can promise you they're probably going to get worse until you bend the knee. Game of Thrones reference there. Once you bend the knee, then things will start to change, right? And that's when things start to improve, little by little, okay? At a pace that you can handle. So, guys, I hope that you have an amazing week, that you have a great rest, and I cannot believe it's April 1st, and maybe that's what the psych was, April Fool's Day in your area, huh? Hey, Leo, you're 6'5" and 17. Wow. You got into the Miracle Grow there. That's some good genes, right? I'm like 5'3", I'm 3 apples high. So, guys, thanks for coming on. If you hopped onto this late and you want to catch the replay of what we were talking about or see any of the other live replays, I do come on here every day, anytime between 9 p.m. Eastern to midnight-ish Eastern time. So you can hop on and make sure you subscribe so that you get the notifications for when I'm on TikTok. And if you want to check out the lives, the replays, you can check those out on my YouTube channel, which is Coach Tina B 125, and you can check those out there. And you can also see some of my artwork that's also available for sale. Leo, you're 17. You got plenty of time to get a girlfriend. Don't worry. Enjoy your fun now and enjoy your days, and the right person will come along for you. Do some inner work if you need to, and just enjoy who you are and who you're becoming. And your girlfriend, whoever she may be, will come along when you are ready. All right? So, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.